My name is Razak. I am the CEO and founder of United Minority Business Ventures. My purpose is to help small businesses grow. This means I will assist with the creative process and maintenance of your business. The method to achieve results is simply building a deeper relationship with your customers. I do this by forming opportunities to communicate and collaborate with your followers, subscribers, and other business owners. By using a wide range of networking tools, we will have an understanding for building your business profile, what type of social media marketing fits your productivity and your availability, and building your financial profile, branding your services, product, or merchandise. Together, we may also determine what type of license is needed to operate your business. And does your budget permit the ownership of your own domain or buying into pre existing sites that host your page? I like to drive traffic by managing your website. This allows me to work with you to select posts that create subscriptions, comments, and likes. I also assist by generating comments on other individual business sites or a page that create a dialogue of conversation directed towards your page. I also assist with the creation of the content on your media site. This will be a collaboration of ideas which will reflect on your brand, your work ethics, and the community's need to know what you have to offer them to bring a better quality of comfort to their lives and lifestyle. I can also assist with the writing of content, directing your videos, the editing process, and publishing them on various sites for marketing purposes, advertising, and promotional value. We asked you that before. Did you guys was there a rivalry or is there like a sisterhood or type of something with you
It's
guys is different sororities?
it's
A
friendly,
rivalry? What'd you
friendly.
say?
I think
Friendly.
it's friendly. I think it's okay. It's I think it's a natural thing on the undergraduate level. I would put that friendly competition. It's always who got the most on we call it the yard, which is the campus. Who got the most on the yard? Is the Deltas running the yard, or the Zetas running the yard, or the AKAs running the yard? Is that friendly competition thing that goes on? And you will probably see it more on an undergraduate level because it's a specific audience. It's a school and a school environment, so you will see it more there. And has it gotten tense? Yes, I'm not going to lie, it has.
Mhm.
But you will see that more on the undergraduate level. So, but we are a graduate, right? We're in alumni chapters, and at this point in life, most of us, um, we are trying to work together because what people don't understand is white and black fraternities and sororities are different in more than just the skin color, right? We're different. The reason why we came about and what we do is different. White fraternities and sororities were made to be social, to be to socialize and have parties and have fun and all those different things. We came together for the sake of our communities. The same as our black churches, our black sororities and fraternities have been in the community serving, making sure there are resources, making sure that um, our communities have what they need to have, voter registrations, um, having different awareness meetings. I can't think of the name of the meetings right now, but having those different panels and all of those different things, most of the time you're going to find one of our sororities or the black fraternities involved in those things, just like the black church. So at this age, we do more coming together as organizations to ensure that information is shared in our black community, to make sure resources are in our black community. Dee's chapter will say, hey, we're giving out socks to the homeless or whoever. Y'all have sock donations. I call my chapter and say, hey, don't we still have socks left? Yeah, let's get them 100 socks. We come together to try to make each other's community in their areas better. These areas more Marietta, Temecula. My chapter area is Riverside and San Bernardino, but we will work together to make sure we're serving our community and helping each other out as much as we can.
Okay, so who's designing all this, or is this all you guys, or what?
No. Okay, so some merchandise, I would say the design, the picture, the press, most of the press and design are ours. We have purchased some. We'll see a design and we're like, oh, that's cute. We'll get it and press it. The clothing itself is usually us finding blanks that we like. Uh, and saying, will we wear this? Do we like how they look? Do we like that design? Buying it ourselves, and sometimes not liking it, and not wearing it. Money we wasted, and then sometimes it's this will work. So the blanks are not ours. We don't sew. We buy from manufacturers. We have blanks, and we put our designs on the blanks.
Right. So I would say we've gone through a few different companies to make sure we find the feel of the shirt, the style of the shirt, the vibrant of the color of the shirt, and we stick to those companies because we know that they weather the washing, the dry clean, the dryer, things like that. Because again, we test out our merchandise right along with you before you, so that we know how to tell you how to take care of your merchandise once you purchase it. We want to know, does it shrink? We want to know, does the press fade, or does it, do the rhinestones come off when you wash them? All these kind of things, because we take a lot of pride in. TANYIKA does more of the design. She says she's not a designer, but she is the designer here in this part. She will see something she likes, and then we talk about it, and she designs it and sends it off to the company, who will then send it back to us in laminate or whatever type of press we want, whether it's rhinestone press, laminate press, whatever. I'm the one who presses and makes the blank shirts come to life with that design. So, in the beginning, we had someone who made our shirts. Now, I'm gonna say 2 years into it, we bought a press machine. It might have been sooner, but I would say 2. We bought a press machine, so now I press. I would say, what is that? 90% of our stuff. 90%, 80%.
All of it. I think I've only pressed about 5 shirts.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, do we send out to have done?
Yeah.
I would say at least 90, maybe 95% of the work we actually press. I actually press in the hot sun. However, I digress. But so again, we know our lane, we know our role. She is the designer. She has other things that she does better than I do. And I do a lot of the pressing, making the shirts come alive with the design that she has picked. So when we talk about our merchandise, we might be purchasing the blank item from another company, because we're not actually sewing the shirts together. But the design, we are putting it on the shirt. We're applying it. We're creating our jean jackets, are one of a kind, two of a kinds. They're not many that are going to be the same. So we are styling our merchandise when we get the blank item, and that makes us, I think, we used that word earlier, unique. That makes us unique in some ways, because you're not going to find hundreds of our items. You might find 50. Sometimes, in some cases, you might only find 25, depending on what it is, but you're not going to find hundreds, because we want you to be unique in the item that you purchase from us.
Okay, so what would you say would be the hardest challenge in making your getting the process of this, making everything and displaying it, marketing, maybe not selling, and maybe having a new idea, even though you might not have sold on the last one, and still pushing ahead and going to the next event anyway and keep going?
I think it's the honesty financial part of it. D and I are crazy. We want to go to every event. If it comes up, we like, can we do it? how much it's gonna cost? Like that's really the determining factor is the cost. Because other than that, we ready to hit the road and go. I don't think there's no other answer. That's going to be the challenge because we are a small business. And for our sororities conventions, we pay on average, probably $500 per event just to show up and have a table.
Mm.
Okay. Now we have traveled from here to where the furthest we've gone to Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania? Yeah,
Yep.
Pittsburgh.
That's the furthest we've gone so far. So we got to fly, sometimes it's $400 round trip per person. We got to get a hotel. That's a good $500-$600 for the weekend. Transportation, Ubers, or if we have to rent a car, extra payments for luggage because we do Southwest. So we get the 2 free, but we still have 1 or 2 more because we got to get the merchandise there. We got to mail merchandise sometimes. So postage. So when you, at the end of the day, on average, we spend $1,500 just getting to an event like that. So it's going to always be a financial issue. Can we afford to do this? First we look at Finer Divas. Can Finer Divas afford it? And then we look at each other and say, oh, we go put our money in, to do this. Like, and then you got to do dollars and cents. Okay, if we're going to make this extra investment, how much do we think we're going to get? And so that's another thing we have started to look at. Where is this located and what is the potential? How many how many people have registered for this conference? To know what we're going to make. You can't guarantee making any money. Right. We have a conference coming up. It's going to be 3,000 people. We can't guarantee making any money. But on average, we know at conferences that has been at least 1,000 people, 900 to 1,000 people, we know that we're going to typically, like make above and beyond, like what a normal conference will be. We're talking make back our 1,500 plus maybe threefold. We're going to make that typically. So now we're saying, are we going to come out of pocket to do this? Is it worth coming out of pocket, our household pocket, to make this happen? So it's always a financial factor. Being on a West Coast, everything tends to be Midwest East. And that's just a fact. So getting there is always a major cost for us. West Coast, you end up being very limited. California is the West Coast for our regions. Everybody comes to California for, the conference and stuff. You go somewhere else. We've tried going to Vegas. We tried going to, where do we go? Washington?
Seattle. Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah. We went to Seattle. I've tried Arizona. People don't want to go there necessarily, and they have smaller gatherings. But if we stick just in California, then we have a small audience that sees our stuff every year, all the time. And so now we don't really have that wow factor anymore because they know what we got. They know how to find us. They know girl, you right around the corner. I come get that shirt tomorrow. Versus we go somewhere else. We in Texas, we selling out. They like, oh, this is fresh. This is new. We haven't seen this. So distance and money.
Distance and money. All right. I was doing a lot of those other stuff as you was talking, but I wanted to ask you guys. Well, I guess I stopped it now. But I wanted to go to one of those ones where you guys were dancing and stomping on, or doing your routine. Was that you guys, or those were somebody else?
No, that was. I know what you're talking about. Probably at the frat games. Where when we go to certain events, the organizations are represented by doing something that we call strolling. And so each organization has a specific I'm saying a specific representation, whether it's a hand gesture, a sound, or whatever, a movement that they do. So each one, and it's called strolling, and they were probably at the park. I'm sure we were at the park, and they have competitions. And so I probably recorded the fact that we were there, and they were doing one of the strolling competitions, and that's the fun banter, competition that we have amongst each other, showing who's the best, who's better, who has the better movements, who's better coordinated, things like that. So it's most of the time it's fun. It's fun to watch. It is fun to do. But a lot of times it is something we're not doing it while we're working. I might be recording it while we're there to show, this is the fun. Hey, come, I might be doing it live at that point. We're here, come down and see us. We're at this event, we're at this park, come on down and see us.
Okay.
Well, usually if it's a picture, it is our clothing. There's just other people probably wearing our clothing, showing the groups. Like right. If you saw one with a whole bunch of people in a swimsuit, that was our design for that swimsuit, in a chapter purchased it for a retreat. And that picture actually went viral. It went from West Coast to East Coast in Instagram, on all the fraternity sororities websites, and it was just like, whoa.
So that's our swimsuit. That's our swimsuit. So we have it in red as well. And it says soror because that's what we call each other within our organization. And it doesn't matter. It could be any of the sororities. We call each other soror when we're in the same organization. But it's a Baywatch style bathing suit. So it was very familiar, very body friendly. And Tanika's chapter purchased it. They had a retreat and they represented. And like she said, the picture went viral. So it actually helped a lot. And it represented, and they look great in it. They look great in it.
We get requests all the time, and sometimes it's just a matter of how I'm feeling. I'm not going to lie about it, because I don't see myself as a designer. So sometimes I have to kind of wait for, I get the information and I try to help design it. And I'm not a drawer. I can't draw. So I sketch it out, and then I get somebody to fine tune it. And I say, nope, yes, move this. And then we get a picture, but it's a process. But yes, people do ask me to design or ask us to come up with things, and then we produce it, and then they like it.
So for example, this picture you have up there, yes, these are our shirts. Actually, there's a couple of different styles, but they're all our shirts. So there's, how the in sports, baseball players, they wear the white with the colored sleeves. We have that as a style shirt, and in the middle it will say Zeta Phi Beta. It'll say in the middle, and it kind of has like this swag design on it, like a little tail. There's a tank top there. We created that tank top. That was one of our first tank tops when we first started. And so anything that we have, we again we take pictures of them, or we ask them to take pictures of our merchandise, because I promise you, the first time I saw somebody somewhere wearing our merchandise, it was the greatest feeling to say, I'm looking at this person like, oh, that's cute. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, that's our stuff. That's our shirt. That was it's almost probably like a musician or an artist hearing their song on the radio.
Yeah.
That's
and then it's funny when you go up to them and they don't know it's you, right? I've gone up to people like, girl, where you get that shirt from? They be like, I was at this, I don't know. And then they get to saying, oh my God, it feels so good. It's good quality. I think they're here today. I think they're here. And I'm like, girl, it's me.
Right. So it's a great feeling to know and to see our stuff out there, posted on other people's social media as well. Especially, I know we had the dress limited, but there were ladies who were not sure how it was going to work for them. And when they tried it on and they put it on, and they got compliments from it. They posted it and tagged us, and we were able to see how well received our items have been. It's
Mhm.
great.
Okay. Is there a particular life lesson you learned that you would like to pass on to others during your experience of maybe even in the sorority or uh, beginning in your business?
My life lesson going into this business. Um, I would definitely say going into a partnership, you really have to be a strong individual, and you have to make sure that person you're going into business with is a strong individual that you know and love and like, because sometimes you ain't gonna like them, but you're gonna love them. But the chemistry, the bond, the friendship, the connection, when you go in a partnership with someone, it's you spend a lot of time with that person. I spent a lot of time with Tan. We spent a lot of time together on the phone, texting, in person, traveling. You have to like that person. And I can honestly say I like her, but I love her. Sometimes I don't like her, but you know what I mean. But I love her. So I push through those difficult moments that we may have, um, because I know it's all for the better for both of us. She has my back and I have hers. And in this business, we do not want it to fail. We want to be successful. We want it to grow even larger than where we are now. We've been doing this since 2020. And we look back. I mean, even right now, just looking back at how some of the posts, what they look like, how we've evolved, just it brings me joy to know she picked me as a partner, and I agreed to be her partner in this venture. And I say the life lesson is to pick the right person. Pick the right person, because it will work or it will damage you.
I would say be open. And I think saying being open is going to encompass a lot of different things. Um, I am the probably rigid one. Sometimes I've learned be open and know yourself. Be willing to learn who you are. That's a life lesson, a real life lesson that I learned and still learning. Um, I just figured out that I'm rigid, that people see me as rigid, that I'm
I'm glad
black
she
and
knows
white.
it now. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I really didn't, honestly. And so in that you have to be open to other ways, other opportunities, other thoughts. Um, and sometimes, sometimes D get okay, whatever for me, because that's my way of being open. It is not a nice way, but that's my way of saying we're gonna try it your way. Fine. I don't really want to, but we're gonna do it because I'm trying to be open. I'm trying to be a good partner and hear you out and trust your decisions, and because I'm not always right, like 99% of the time I am, but I'm not
Right.
always right. So with that 1%, I need to be open to hearing other things, hearing other options, um open to rejection. Because like I said before, we've had some products, we've had something that flopped, we've had things that flopped. Open to mistakes. um we've had products that we have jacked up, and you want to point the finger like you did it, and it's like, no, we did that.
Right.
So how can we not do that again? So open, being open. And that's one thing I have learned through this process, through life, um getting to this point, this age, and where I'm at, even in this business, in my personal life. Those are some of the things that I have learned and working on, currently working on, um, in my life.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to ask this last question, and we're going to put it to a close in our ending statements and stuff like that. Okay, I know we have touched on it before, or you guys have spoken briefly in aspects to this, but oh man. Okay, you guys have spoken on this. Let's see if I can say it again.
Up, huh? You can't get
Now I gotta try to. I gotta try to say it again. It was just coming out smooth. Now I gotta like redress how I was saying that. Man, how can I? Okay, so let me just ask you. Okay, how do you guys feel about the question when it comes to leaving a legacy or building a legacy with your life and through your business?
Ooh.
So I'm all about building a legacy and leaving it to a family member who I have designated that I would be leaving my legacy to. I think that what is something that helps drive me to want to be more successful each year for that purpose. I know leaving a legacy, because for a long time I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what it was going to be. They had no, I wasn't thinking of that. It's not something I was used to. But, in the last, I would say the last 10 years of my life, building a legacy, having that legacy, knowing what that legacy will be, and actually creating it and maintaining it for someone else has been an important part of me as an individual, as a woman, mature woman trying to make something happen for someone else, because we don't normally do that. We don't normally learn that. We work for the here and now. We're taking care of our present, and we're not being left things, or we're not working and saving and looking towards the future. We really weren't doing that. And I'm saying that like as Black people, we really weren't doing that a lot. And so that's important to me, because I want something to be left behind me, past me. And I want this particular family member to carry it on in my name, so that she can too move forward and have it for her family. But building the legacy, maintaining that legacy is very important. And it does not have to only be with Finer Divas. I'm just talking in general. Everything that I do, every investment that I make, every step that I take is for this particular person, so that she can have the ability to say, I did this for her. I provided this for her, and she will be able to move forward in her future for her family as well.
When I think of legacy, I like almost immediately think of my great uncle, who pretty much raised us as his grandchildren. My grandmother died almost within a year after my mother was born, and he promised her on her deathbed that he was going to make sure her kids were okay, and he has done just that. And so when I think of a legacy, I think of him. I think of him taking us and teaching us foundational things. He was the manager, what have you, of a store called Sunday School Publishing Board. And it's what it was is the present day Vine Life and Christian Fellowship Bible stores, bookstores and stuff. But back home, it was a regional store for a certain area of states. They ordered all the Sunday school church materials all through the store. He would let us come there, but he was teaching us business principles. He was teaching us how to run a business, how to act in a business. And this is go get me kicked off your air, but I'm going to say it because it's something that has stuck with me throughout my life. When we would be in the hallway making noise before we get into the building, he'd hear us, he'd call us in. Come here. Don't be making all that noise. Don't be in here talking loud. Don't be running around. This ain't no nigga business. You gotta act a certain way. And you gotta, and even though at that time as a kid, we like, he kind of tough. I got it. Representation, making sure we were doing what we were supposed to do, making sure we were not seen, because again, Midwest was still kind of Southish, making sure we as Black kids were not seen as being disorderly and disrespectful, making sure we knew how, when we had our own business, I don't even know how you knew we was going to have businesses, but when we had our own, we knew how to act and represent not just our families, but our business appropriately so that people can want to do business with you. He also said your name. When people hear your name, they need to know that they can trust you. Your name is important. He says, so if you lie, your name means liar. So when you're doing business and you're interacting, he always impressed about having a good name. And so when I think of legacy, I think of him. I think of how I could have never imagined I would be here today, taking what he told me and placing it here in 2024 in my life, understanding it clearly and teaching my son some of the same things. So that's when I think of legacy. I think it has been passed down through my family, certain things. And I think as a legacy, I want to do that for future generations. I've started with my son, teaching him certain things and explaining to him certain things. I've done it with my niece. I've done it with my brothers when they had their business, just imparting information, cultural standards, things we should do as a people. When I think of legacy, if my son decides something happens to me, he wants to take Finer Divas and make it bigger, great. If he does not, I'm okay with that. It's more important that you're taking these principles and values and things that were taught to me and you're passing that along, more so that you're taking this physical company and keeping it going for years and years. Now, if you do, I will be honored. It'd be something I'm like, great. But I want you, my thing is I want to teach you these values of a Black community, these Christian values, these things that have helped me to get to where I'm at today and be able to that I know is going to take you to another level. I want to make sure as a legacy that I'm also, yes, leaving something financial, giving my son a leg up, giving him a step up, because we had to get what we got, and now we have something, right? When I went to college, I didn't have any money. I didn't have nobody paying for, I had to have a student loan and a grant and scholarships and all that. Well, my son's going to college is a little bit different. He doesn't have to take out student loans like I did. He's not getting a grant. And so when you get out of college, it's still going to be rough. I want to make sure you have a little nest egg. So if you want to invest in yourself and get a business, if you want to, maybe you want to buy a house and invest in property, you have that ability. I don't want you to have to struggle to do those things, because if you got to struggle to do those things, that's going to put you further behind. If I can push you, then you can catapult all the way to wherever you need to get to. So that's how I see it. Hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did. You did. Keith?
Yeah, thanks, man. You know what, ladies? I'm gonna say a few things, and then I probably have a question I want to ask you. But I want to talk about, you guys. Just the fact that you guys are out there and supporting each other through your families and all of these things, and then being such strong Black women, and then not shying away from that story, right? That fact that you are promoting yourself, you are exercising everything through your business as a Black woman, and you're making sure people know that that's the primary reason why you started the business. It was because you wanted to represent people like you, and you wanted to make sure that, or you do want to make sure that everybody that buys your product understands that it's because of that, because of those feelings and the way that you guys came together to run this business. And just the other part about family and your kids and your legacy and all of the things that we've talked about is just so important. And this show is definitely appreciative of that, because I think we've taken some time to probably ask you stuff that you wasn't really thinking probably this show was about, or maybe you didn't have any idea what to expect when you came on to the show. But I do want to tell you guys that I'm so proud of you guys, because the more I see this, the more I see this representation, the better I think men, that are out there need to know that there's women, Black women out there that are passing along things that are important to help build generational wealth for our people. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's about. When you're talking about leaving something behind and giving them a leg up. Well, that starts from you guys getting in the business, and also all the work you've done prior to that to be able to have a business, right? You have to work and do all of that. So, and, I don't want to spend a whole hour just talking about it, but I can. Believe me, I can, because I know I can. But it's just so it's so just like, it goes right to the heart, man. And so I like to ask you this, what do you guys think about, your experience on the podcast? KF&JF podcast was designed to uplift small businesses and to bring forth that story, that journey. And that's really what we're about, as well as your product and all of that. But the story is just as important, because that's why people buy your product. So let me start with you. Just let us know what the podcast and how you feel after the experience you've had so far.
So I was intimidated at first because I read the questions. I said, "Oh Lord, they gonna have me crying on here," because some of the questions are very uh, detailed and deep when I think about the answers, and I was just like, "Oh my God." But when I got on here, and it was a very comfortable environment, you guys made me feel really comfortable, and the questions made me think, but it helped because I was able to communicate my feelings. It helped me really process some things that I've had inside that I may not always talk about, but it kind of your renews your belief in what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. We don't talk about legacy every day. I don't walk around my house talking about I'm trying to leave a legacy, so being able to discuss and have these dialogues actually strengthens those things for me, and say, yeah, how can we do this better? What else can me and Dee do that can take our families to another level? How can we improve on what we're doing? How can we reach our community even more? We do community service with our organizations, but is it something that Finer Divas can maybe do to connect with the community more? So it makes me think about those things. So I appreciate that, being able to have these type of discussions where it is aimed at talking about us, but it really is fulfilling for me. It was fulfilling to have this process with you.
Thank you
Thanks.
for that.
So my experience with this podcast, I definitely felt and still feel comfortable with this process, with being able to talk, not be interviewed, not just answer questions, but to talk and talk through my process of how we started, what challenges we faced, and where we are now. Um, Definitely the opportunity to do that in this setting was a great feeling. I didn't necessarily feel intimidated, but I wasn't quite sure what to expect. You know, Keith and I, we spoke a few times, and I still didn't think I was prepared for it. But the fact that the setting was comfortable, it eased my mind and it made me feel like I could be genuine. Like, I'm always going to tell you the truth. I'm always going to tell you how I feel, but I don't want to be fake. I don't want to be phony. I just felt comfortable in being real with how I was able to present my information and respond to your questions. The experience, I definitely will take back, because as we were doing it, I'm looking at the beginning. I'm remembering what we got started for, what our purpose was, what our goals were. And sometimes, you kind of lose direction, right? You kind of go in a different direction. Now I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, we did say this. We were going to focus on this. This was going to be our goal for Finer Divas. I want to be able to get back to that. I want to, not forget why we created Finer Divas, who we created it for, and what we plan on doing with it. And sometimes, you get caught up in the hustle and bustle of doing it. You kind of, lose sight of what the real purpose and goal was. And I don't want to forget that. And I think this podcast, talking with you, even hearing some things from TANYIKA that, again, we see each other, but we don't necessarily have to talk about it every day. But I think we both reminded each other what we are here for, what we came together for. And I think your podcast at least helped me to remember what our purpose was, and what we need to possibly get back to, but refocus on. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the opportunity for us to come on and share and talk and basically remind myself that I got a good partner. I have an excellent partner here, hands down. She has my back, I have hers, and we are in this together to make this work. And we go through the motions, but I think I was reminded of that today. I definitely was reminded of that.
Well, I really do appreciate that. I'm sure Razak appreciate it too, because that's our goal, right? That's the whole purpose why this is, you know, what we're doing is to try to make sure that we all have something to gain from it, right? For our family, for our business, and to keep our minds focused on the goal. And the goal is to keep on moving, even though we know that everybody's not going to move with us. But the fact that you are doing something, people can see that around you. People know that around you. So when they do talk to you, they go, well, how's the business going? And they know that you're still doing it. Then they know that, you know what, this person is worth it, because they're actually doing what they say they're going to do. So, I really KF&JF podcast. Thank you guys a lot. But I'm going to give you the last words. I want you each to talk about, give your website, give your information out there, anything that you want to say that we didn't discuss or anything like that. Just take a moment to do that, each one of you. I really appreciate it if you would do that.
So our website is finerdivas.com. It really has more of our standard items on there. The newer items that we kind of produce, you may not see. It's better probably go to Instagram, because some of those items come and then they're gone. So go to finerdivas.com to connect with us and see what you're interested in. I will say this, I think I mentioned it before. People contact us and ask us to design things. We will do that. We will design a t-shirt, design a family reunion t-shirt, or we had a women's ministry contact us about doing a t-shirt. We did that for them. We will do that. Reach out, connect with us. our prices really are very reasonable, and we're very easy to contact and work with. Is more so just give us a chance. That's the kind of thing, like, just give us a chance as a company to prove that we can, do what we say we do. We have quality work, and follow us on IG because D keeps the pictures going on IG.
So I am Deirdre, one of the owners of Finer Divas. And yes, you can contact us at Finer Divas, and that's with a Z, finerdivas@gmail.com. Email us. We will respond to you on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. We are Finer Divas. One word, Finer, FINER, Divaz, DIVAZ. You will find us. Follow us. We go live at times, and sometimes we post our new items. We post when we are at events. Follow us. Test us out. See what you like from what we have, and see possibly what we can do for you in the future. We appreciate any type of feedback or requests that you may have. We are here to meet your goals within meeting our goals. But we definitely want to be able to see you. We want to be able to speak with you. Finer Divas, we are a Greek boutique, but we are here to meet other needs as well. We have the Black History, Juneteenth items. We have our Pearl collection, and we have our positive affirmation line of t-shirts that we want to provide to you, your church, your family, your friends. So please contact us on any of those platforms, and we will be looking forward to connect with you.
Thank you.
You know what? I want to make sure I say this. I want to just express our gratitude for you guys coming on the KF&JF podcast. Just went up another level. Just having you two on here, man, because this is some awesome shit, and I love it. I'll pass it over to Razak for his last few words.